Elizabeth is still planning for the nuptials, as is Lucas. He could not come in to substitute, and Minnie is busy with her new business, and so is Florence. So I'm back again, and we are going to have another vocabulary lesson. Stay tuned.
Since you're here, click the button and subscribe, and also click the bell and the word all for notifications.
Okay, let's start with, I think it's episode 4, an interconnecting word puzzle that actually has a little story behind it. Although I even remember Lee saying it did not roll off his tongue. It's the crossword puzzle that we know today that Ned invented, but there's an actual story behind it. Around the same time that this story is taking place, there was someone who created a puzzle, and it was not meant to be called crossword puzzle. It was meant to be called words that cross, something similar to that, and it was a misprint in the newspaper, and it just stayed crossword puzzle, which is kind of cool. You can actually research it yourself. I have the gist of the story. I'm sure I'm mixing up little pieces, but it's okay. So interconnecting word puzzle. There's a little bit of truth behind it, but it leads me to some thoughts about season 10. You know, I have to find every opportunity I can when we're on like this gap time to, you know, talk about the next season or the show itself. So I was thinking, Ned, okay? What is in store for Ned? In my previous video, I had suggested, why wouldn't he make a good candidate for mayor? I think that he would. Do I have crazy eyes? Because sometimes I don't know where to look, sorry. Anyway, also, you know, he's invented things like the Band-Aid and the pop-up toaster and the crossword puzzle. I remember there was some funny like lines last season that he might invent the traffic light, but why couldn't he invent something maybe that will be serious, like medical, something medical that could help with Faith in her practice? Or maybe when the babies come, and I say babies because I really do think that Elizabeth will have a baby soon in her marriage. I don't know, I just do. But anyway, we've got Rosemary who's having a baby. What if he invents something cool that she could use? Like maybe she still wants to work and she could bring the baby with her. What if he invents that, you know, that jumpy thing that goes on the door frame to entertain the baby while she's working? I don't know. I think Ned is going to invent something that's going to be pivotal or impactful for season 10. What do you think? It's just my thoughts. All right, the next word comes from episode 10, and everybody went bonkers, and that's gooey butter cake. So it's more than one word, it's a phrase, but gooey butter cake is a real thing. And I know a lot of you went out and you looked it up and you all talked about it and you made the most gross recipe that is ever out there. And I know some of you stopped in when I was analyzing with Kathy, my partner, and we were analyzing the stories and we talked a little bit about it then. But it's gooey butter cake. And the recipe that many of you were using, which is made from a box cake and has cream cheese on the top part, is nothing like gooey butter cake, and it's gross. And for me, it's quite insulting because I grew up on it. So a bakery that was a German bakery where, not where I live, but the town over called, it's a Berlin Mart. They had, my mother grew up on it. And it was her favorite cake. As a matter of fact, my tiny little mommy, right? When it came to sweets, she was like, don't touch my stuff. So when we would order it, we'd have to get 2, and one was for her, and then we could share one. And it's usually like in an 8x8 or sort of like a little rectangular pan. It's not very big. There's no yellow box cake. And there is no cream cheese in it. As a matter of fact, I have a recipe, but the base of it is actually made from a sweet yeast dough. And the top is made with corn syrup and butter. And it's just this all ooey and it's gooey. It's so delicious. Now, when I do my recipe videos, they are a lot of work, and I haven't done many because I've just been too busy, but I do throw things up on Instagram, and I can put this one up on Instagram, and I said that I would, but I also think I am going to actually, like do it for you. So how many of you went out and made that cake? Because I saw a lot of people took pictures of it and they were eating it while they were watching the next episode, which was episode 11. How many of you made it and thought it was like, bleh? Actually, when someone shared the recipe with me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. This was years ago, and I tasted it and I was like, I couldn't even, no. So anyway, there's a little bit that I want to talk about season 10 that revolves around this butter cake. Two things. One, of course, this is something that Rosemary felt she could keep down, because this is when she had that. She thought she had a virus, but it was a little more than that. And I'm wondering, what is she going to be craving in season 10? And is she going to drive Lee bonkers and everybody else? And I wonder if he's going to be super overprotective. Maybe she'll be the calm one and he'll be the dramatic one. I don't know. What do you think? I want to hear your theories on this, because it's my favorite expectation for season 10. I know the wedding, yes, the wedding, but I am so excited to see all the possibilities of storylines that happen around this pregnancy. And I'm also hoping that some time has passed and she has the baby. I don't want it to be at the end of the season. I want it to be earlier, but those are just my wishes. I don't know what your thoughts are. Now, the second part, so that Joseph was cutting that cake, and then who took a piece and another person took a piece, and storylines revolved around it, which I loved. Very clever. And, Nathan walked in and he loved it, and he took some with him, and he walks outside and he sees Fiona, who's pacing back and forth on that boardwalk because she's nervous. The investors are meeting, and the one she says has feelings for her, which is Arthur Gilchrist, and she wants to be taken serious, and she has a conversation with Nathan. Now, I did talk a little bit about Nathan in the previous episode that goes along with this, and I wanted to bring up, these are just my feelings. What chemistry in that scene. They had wonderful chemistry. They were funny. They had those looks, the little quirky faces that they made. Nathan was like his teasing self, and he gave her good advice, and she's like, wish me luck. And he's like, why? You're smart. You don't need it. And she's all, I don't know. Why can't they make a storyline for them? Because those few seconds of that scene that they did together, that to me was the most sparkish scene that he had with a female yet. I mean, there's Faith, there's May. I love both, but I'm telling you, Nathan and Fiona. I know Arthur Gilchrist could come back. So, I'm not a writer for the show, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm just saying. Okay, if it's not Fiona, they need some sparks with whatever character they choose for him. And I'm not even sure if they're going to choose one yet. We're still trying to get used to Nathan and make him have some great storylines with Allie. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. You like my chalkboard back there? It kind of looks blue. It's really black. All right. So anyway, third word, chi-si, and it's spelled differently. As a matter of fact, when Faith goes to talk to May about it, she thinks it might be Quixie. And she goes into the pharmacy and ice cream shop, and she's talking and having a conversation because about the holiday, because that's the holiday that's being, it was the days of Hope Valley Days, sorry. Hope Valley Days. I'm not even going to edit any of that. I'm going to say it just like it is. Hope Valley Days. And I'm wondering, do you think they'll continue with the Hope Valley Days for next year and forever? They're not just going to make it all go away, right? Anyway, I like it because then we get that holiday feel that we might not be always get with the rest of the storylines. But anyway, I digress. So they're having their conversation, and chi-si is a Chinese holiday of love, and that's why she included it with the Valentine's Day. But it wasn't just about like a romantic love, as May was saying. It was about friendship. It was a love between family, a love for your town or your country, a communal love. And I liked when they started talking about the friendship, because those two do have a friendship. And I'm hoping that that friendship continues in season 10. And I'm curious to see how they handle it, how they are both interested in Nathan, and how are they going to work that out. And I don't want it to be this big brouhaha, and I don't think it will be. I think it's going to have a different tone that maybe any of us can come up with, or maybe you can come up with something. I don't know. But I liked how they talked about their friendship, and then Faith wanted some ice cream, and she gave it to her. May gave it to her on the house for their friendship, which is nice. So I'm really looking for some girl time. I want that bonding. I know Molly has bonded with Flo, and they're a duo. And we've got Elizabeth, and we have, I always want to say Pascal instead of Rosemary. I don't know why. And then I know that May and Faith have started to bond, but don't forget Molly's there too. And all the girls sort of hang out, and Fiona is close with Faith. But I want to see that grow. I want to see where May, we had such mystery behind May. I want to see more of that. And I'm wondering, what do you all think? You had enough? You got any ideas? I don't know. So you've got a bit of a vocabulary lesson, and we made predictions and some history. And that's exactly what I teach. I know you'll always hear me say this, but I teach language arts, ELA, writing, reading, and I teach social studies history. So you're all my students now. Okay, that's it. I'm kind of hyper because I'm dying for some content. I don't know about you, but I'm dying for some content. Okay, class dismissed, but hold on. Class dismissed. See you later.